Bentornati, and welcome back to the PPC. My name is Merlo. With me, the strat guy, the genius brain, the techcaster, Dolson. You, my man. We're ready for
Me?
another game. Yeah,
No
you.
chance. Look, you're building me up, and then I say something dumb, and I look double dumb at that
What do
point.
you? So,
I,
so,
Go ahead.
so you're ready for the serious meta, right? So it's a thing
No,
now, right? It's a
no.
thing. So,
Well, yes. Apparently, look. I will say this: outside of viability, whatever it is, there is something so satisfying about not only the ultimate convergence and its ability to pull in a bunch of people all at once. It just scratches that itch, and then also the cleave autos and the way that all of that works also is just very satisfying. So look, if the pros are going to play it, I'm here for it because it's fun to watch. I will not be playing it because I can't do that. But if in the PPC it works, maybe it works.
yeah, and now we're ready for snapping. As the first team, and I don't get the name for the second one. Can you tell? Can you say it for
No.
me?
All right, well,
Uh,
look. You want to use your credits now? I said I have 10 in me. I think I used 4 of them before our break, so I'll say it again for the 5th time. YeezyPogChamp is who's
PogChamp.
going up against Snap in here. So now I have 5 more times that I'm going to say that name throughout the entirety of this set. 3, 4, 5 games, whatever it is. I'm only going to say. Nearly said it again. Look, I'm
Yeah,
holding
see,
it. I'm holding it close. I'm only saying that
you're
team name
burning it
5
too
more times.
fast.
I
You're
know I'm
burning it too
burning it
fast.
through. Somebody's gonna hold me accountable. But look, jokes aside, it's a close matchup. All
Hmm.
of these teams at 5 and 4 tied for second place outside of map differential. Snappin technically holds the tiebreaker in second place, but really wins and losses is where the standings get done. So this is a big one for putting yourself in second place and in the best possible spot moving towards Worlds.
Absolutely. Let's take a little bit of a peek to the bands that actually went through. And Yeezy actually banning Jaguar Falls and Warriors Gate from the Snap side instead is going to be Fish Market and Bazaar. And Bright Marsh is going to be the first map. So once again, very standard map, very basic. We're jumping back into picks and bans just to see what's going to happen, the meta. And we know that it's going to be a little different than what we used to see before. I don't think
Right.
Ceres will come up right now. Because of course it's just a pick that you use to do something a little bit
Right.
different, something to surprise. Terminus is going to be the first ban, so that opens up a lot of other tanking options. So we still have an Aura, we still have Ash. Vivian is going to get banned, so you still got Victor at your disposal. Bunch of flanks. And what do you expect from the Snap side or the YeezyPogChamp side at this point?
Yeah, I think Anara on this map is the utmost importance. I think she's just too good, on any map really, at being a fantastic point tank. But this one specifically, your ability to stay alive, wall off. There's 3 ways, four ways, I suppose, to get in onto the point. People
Mhm.
rarely use kind of that back door unless you're one of the flanks. But the ability to wall off those entrances is just too strong in overtime scenarios. So I think Anara makes some sense to me early on here on this draft. Ash is going to be important later on as well. Not surprised though that Genos ends up being that first pick. He's the priority healer for a lot of these teams. Has been that way for a year plus at this point. The ability to
Mhm.
win your team the fight almost right off the bat with all that extra damage, all that sort of fun stuff, just too strong. So still think we'll see an Anara at some point, but not surprised that we've seen some of these other champs prioritized a little bit more.
Coupled up with Andraxis, of course, the DPS is going to come up strong. And Fernando, actually, right now, as the solo tank for this composition, we saw it like beforehand. We knew and Fernando was actually able to tank all by himself. But remember, we still have Willow in the pool, and she completely destroys the solo tanks and solo healers. So you need to put something else inside that composition. From Snapping instead, of course, you're going to pick Grover because you have basically a counter for Rom. Charlene is still available, but you pretty much are set in this entire game. They have a pretty good composition right now where Rom will be able to do everything by himself.
Yeah, still need a little something in the damage department here
Hmm.
for YPC, and then Sky is definitely one way of getting that done. We've seen some of this flexibility out of the Sky where you run the talent where your smoke screen applies a lot of the same stuff to your teammates, so you can see healer Sky, sort of the pseudo flank support esque Sky, and I like that mindset here. Plenty targets where you want Debilitate could make some sense here as well. You look at a Rom, you look at an Inara, how difficult those health pools are to whittle down anyway. Skye, fantastic at burning down tanks, and who's her counter going to be here? Unless she's going toe-to-toe with a Xin, she can stealth around him. Don't be surprised if you see some early Illuminate from snapping as well.
True.
She finds her way onto a Strix. He's dead. She goes in around behind an Inara, and nobody's there to question her. They're dead. I mean, it's so tricky playing around a Skye, so you don't often see her, but I think this is a scenario where she definitely can work.
Yeah, she can definitely shine, and it all comes down to, of course, the execution between her and Androxus, because right now you have the flanking potential. You got the verticality from Androxus, you got the splash damage and the blast radius, and at this point, we're ready to jump into the game and see if a Strix can actually survive, because that's my biggest concern right now. Strix being able to actually, stand a chance against so much flanking potential, and
Right.
yeah, Debilitate is going to be the card for Ratatouille. That's pretty good right there, and very telling.
Yep, and I think it's really what makes the most sense here. You pick this Skye, obviously for your ability to get in onto the back line, but this isn't, all right, maybe the last minute pivot.
Okay.
Make me eat words. I still think Debilitate's a fantastic pick. I think in my mind, it's probably where I would have gone, but I definitely don't think the talent is a bad move. Let me make that clear here. I don't think what Ratatouille ended up deciding to go with is bad. I mean, Skye is always going to be able to do massive amounts of damage, but the ability to do this, fight behind your Fernando, keep him and yourself alive just a little bit extra, always going to be strong. Debilitate is good for melting health bars. She's going to do that nonetheless, just a little bit less effective, keeping yourself in these fights a little bit longer, helping out that Genos a little bit. Thumbs up for me.
I don't know if it's a thing, but it seems like a semi-pirate ship right now, where you can basically throw as many Buzzies as you can inside the point. And with Fernando, they're all gonna be alive, because he can basically take the heat of each and everybody. But right now, Inara with that wall, they're gonna block him. It's gonna come the first blood for them, and yeah, that's gonna be a problem right there, because you have nothing to counter the enemy attack. Right now, Xin in a very tight spot. Skies and Droxus and the other trying to do a little bit of damage onto that back side. But yes, seems that Snapping is in control of the situation. And yeah, they're going to take the first point probably.
Well, YeezyPogChamp. All right, only 4 of those left for the rest of this set now. Make their way back onto the point here. So a chance for them to fight back in. You got to look at Snapping and their ability to retake here. Rom will be able to sprint his way in, and an Inara plenty healthy enough to walk in as well. Very difficult when Mwadak has found 3 on the backside of the fight.
And that's going to be huge, because right now the situation completely flipped over. And yeah, around Snapping, they are going to back down from this fight, and as soon as you told that, Androxus was able to retake back the entirety of the point and the situation, thanks to just a triple kill, executed very easily, to be honest. And yeah, right now they are on the offensive.
And look, you can't, as Voluntary hits a nice shot to keep this cart rolling, you can't always strategize against somebody just going big against you, and the Androxus did just that. Whirlwind forced it out, unlike the Patience on the Accursed Arm, didn't find maybe as much value as he was hoping for, but did force out one of the big defensive ultimates from Snap in there. And YPC still feeling good about the direction this card is going.
Yeah, Penguin actually having a little bit of trouble actually gaining in and do a couple of kills. He's having troubles, like lots of them. He's able to go into the backline, but getting shut down pretty easily by all the other teammates. So right now, the situation is that Yeezys, they need to find a kill right now, thanks to that Androxus and Skye. They can actually do that because Skye, she has the cloak, she has the possibility of going into those buildings and, surprise everybody out of nowhere. But they're fighting near the stairs. Okay, the sustain is going to be fine right there. They're trying to melt Rom with all that fire, all that potential, all that damage, but it's not going to be enough. There's a lot of resistance right there, and nobody's killing anybody. Apart from right now, situation seems to be locked a little bit. Ratatouille going toe-to-toe against Fernando. It's not going to be a fun time right there. Actually trying to escape, but it's going to get picked off by Fernando and Droxus at the same time. And right now, Yeezy, they unlocked the full-on push.
Well, I suppose that shows you why you might pick Smoke and Dagger on Skye as your talent. Somehow, 2 against 4 or 5. Skye and Fernando able to stay alive on the backside. A little extra healing, a little extra utility, of course, when everyone's standing in that smoke screen. Works out this time around. Took a little bit longer to melt down that ROM than maybe YeezyPogChamp were hoping for. 3 left. An overpower. He's gonna open up things though as Reincarnated sent off the map.
Yeah, see, yeah, that's a free kill right there. And that's gonna be, once again, a huge advantage. They actually had a little bit of a kill possibility onto that Xin. They didn't use it. Sky actually putting a lot of pressure thanks to that ultimate. But yeah, Rover actually popping off the healing. And they need to repack and regroup right now because, yeah, they're getting basically pushed off the map and pushed behind their enemy backs with this ROM. Fernando actually touching. Watch out, Fernando! Super sneaky right. Look at Fernando! Look at Fernando! Oh my god! Oh my god! Mamma mia, that's impossible to witness.
Oh, that sucks. Oh, that sucks so bad. The Grover Vine pulled Bones just short of the contest ring there. What a play from Matthew, my man. Wraps around the backside there. Everyone from Snappin is focused on whittling down the health bars and trying to get kills, finalize that defense, and you know, a mounted up Fernando. Look. I'm trying to buy you some time here, Snappin, saying that you're focused on the rest of the fight going on, but that is a Fernando on mount rolling right up Main Street there.
Yeah,
that was hard to believe that it took that long to kind of react to what was going on. A little unlucky for Bones not to find back into contest range, but YPC, they're on top 2-0. A little bit of luck, a little bit of skill, 2 on the board nonetheless.
That's a 2-0 that I'm never gonna forget. That's a flank Nando all by himself.
Oh, no.
Right now, Ram actually not connecting so well. Not so interesting into that backside. It could have been done a lot more damage, but it's okay. Right now, Snappin trying to get control right back with the accursed arm. Finds no target, no damage. They actually are shutting down Fernando and all the others. Snappin with a comeback mechanic, they already have the point. But remember, there's still a lot of defense that the enemy team can do. So YeezyPogChamp, they just need to find a kill or two and they can reset the whole situation.
It's just great space fighting there from Snappin on the right-hand side. They group up as a squad. The Cataclysm literally hits nobody, but the presence of a ROM in small, close-in quarters like that, you know, you think he's this guy who wants to frolic freely across the map, and he sure does, but when he's juggernauting his way through these small and close spaces, it's just going to make life way too difficult for you, and it's not where an Androxus wants to fight. You know, Sky can get pushed to the side. I think well fought out there by Snappin. And now suddenly, you know, it's Snappin that are on the verge of tying up this set.
Snappin super aggressive right there. Actually, Androxus is trying to find a kill onto that Strix and all the others. Oh no, the first shot is not gonna connect. The second, the third, he did nothing inside this whole fight. He still gets the kill though. Well, a little bit undeserved if I'm gonna be honest, but it's okay. Right now, Sky and all the others, they're pressuring through, getting all the skills. Gonna stagger the, yeah, ROM right here. Huge for them. Gained a bunch of time, but for sure, 1 minute and 20, still a lot of way to go to actually push and get the card moving.
Yeah, Snappin, they have plenty of time though on the opposite side to keep things moving here, keep the earth shaking and try to get this cart rolling on in. You might need to get a pick. I mean, it's very stalwart, fighting into a Khan, a Fernando, a Sky. It's always going to be difficult. Stigma, maybe, if you're able to connect on a couple of these shots, gives you the ultimate advantage. I love the mobility that I'm seeing out of the Strix early on here. That's exactly what we're seeing. Look at a lot of these health bars. Half HP on a few members of YPC, and a Seismic Crash is going to start it off.
Yeah, he just wanted to connect, you know, get that kill. He's going to take it, but of course, there's a long way to go. Sky and all the others are still in the game, but look at that. Reincarnated right now. Rom getting a bunch of kills out of nowhere, just pushing onto the right side. They have no bodies to actually connect onto that payload. I think a Khan just respawned with, of course, Fernando. They're gonna try, but yeah, the push is gonna be successful from Snappin, and I really don't understand why they let, you know, a couple of kills just slip through. But yeah, that's gonna be huge for them, and it's gonna be a 2-on-2.
And actually, I think the Seismic Crash there from Woodknock was a good magnifying glass into what I mean when I talk about Snappin's ability to fight in close spaces. They wall off some of the backline there. Woodknock Seismic Crashes down onto 2, and then plenty of cleave damage from Penguin and Reincarnated and the rest of the crew to just outfight YPC in those close quarters there. And then obviously Bones, that's where he's going to want to be fighting as well. Got the Chronos 3, Morale Boost 1. So the Whirlwind will come up a little bit more frequently. If Snappin is able to fight like that, I like their chances here. It's when YeezyPogChamp. All right, I only got 2 left. Let it slip out there.
Watch out for the slip.
Right, I know.
One.
Yeah, YeezyPogChamp though. They got to find a way to dismantle it, and this is a great way to do so. Send a flank around the backside.
Indeed,
Maybe
right
not.
now, yeah, he just got caught off from the ultimate, but that was a good idea. Right now, Khan actually picking up the Grover, taking a nice easy kill onto the enemy healer, so that, right now, there's no way they can escape all that damage coming in from Fernando, Sky, and all the others. They need to stagger the ROM, and there you go. That's the CC for you. That's the damage, and you don't have a point tank right now to run straight up to the point. They just need to pop off those mounts. And there you do, thanks to the Angrox and that verticality, Fernando trying to sneak behind and block them before they enter into the building. But yeah, the point is pretty much taken. Justin Ara right now getting focused hard from Andraxis and all the others. Man, this team is compact as all hell. They're super straightforward.
Mwadak dies early there to the spite, and he has wreaked havoc on his second sort of respawn here on the mid fight. Might even find another one. Matthew doing some good damage there as well. The Andraxis paying off in dividends. Smoke and Dagger as well. It's kind of that unforeseen utility that's been doing well. That's why you pick Genos into a ROM. Reincarnated wants to rumble on through there. Unable to do so. Did a axe connect there onto Mwadak? Did he just poke around too far on the corner? All right, that sucks. Bones, though, he's able to get the kill there. Actually, you look at now how YeezyPogChamp, wow, I only have 1 left, and we're not even done with game 1. YPC, they're reacting by backing off a little bit. I like the mindset. You got to regroup and force them into this, the time bomb over the top.
Yeah, they're pretty much squashed and needed to regroup and reconnect. But yeah, that was a great pressure from the Sky, actually just beside the wall. But yeah, another couple of kills are coming through. Rom is going to be the next one, and they are politically wiped off before the minute and a half. So this defense is going to be very difficult. Wouldn't surprise me if they actually are able to connect the payload and go with a 4-2.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. Snapping seem a little bit out of sorts, but remember, it took kind of a miracle backdoor to get things in last time. Reincarnated can have quite a time here, especially if Mwadak can't get anyone off the high ground.
Indeed, Fernando popping his ultimate. Ooh, that's another good kill right there. Penguin was the one who's actually taking kills from the enemy team. Right now, snapping, having so many troubles. Oh, triple kill coming in hot from Andraxis. That's a quarter kill right there. It's going to finish off with the Penta. And there you go. YeezyPogChamp. A flawless victory right there.
All right. Look, it's what happened on the mid fight. You got a triple kill that gave a large edge over to YPC, and then, hey, why not cap the game off? A little bit of a pentakill. You don't often get to see those, if really ever at all. Mwadak mid reparations for a tough second mid fight there. I guess it was his third mid fight. Came in, immediately got spited, and then did not let off the gas from that point on. Ratatouille, a good way. Look at that, 81,000 healing. So he did as much as Bones did. Right, 7K less, but in the grand scheme of things, somewhat the same. So you kind of counter out both healers with that, and then there's an extra free 106,000 healing for Ball and Berry, and Sin Cara did 9,000 healing as well. So between Ratatouille and Sin Cara, they did as much healing as Bones was able to do, and then they also had Ball and Berry to do 100,000 healing, and Ratatouille was top damage in the game. That's why, Debilitate would have been better for even more damage off the top. But Ratatouille with the utility build, the utility talent on the Sky, further tilts those scales. If you can do as much damage and as much healing as the top damage dealer and the top healer, thumbs up for me. It's going to be hard to beat you anytime.
Yeah, they went for sustained fights, and of course that paid off pretty well. But also Grover had a little bit of a pickle when, you have the enemy tank that basically grabs you out of the fight, and then it's going to kill you off. You are bound to have some problems. And in general, like Fernando with the sneaky pick, the sneaky capture, that was something that was not calculated at all. Nobody was defending, and that was a huge problem right there because it's a 2-0 right out of the bat, and you basically gave so many opportunities, for them to cap off those credits, spend them and, have a better economy and composition regards the enemy team. But yeah, first game pretty quickly faded off, out of nowhere.
Right.
Pretty unexpected, picks with that Sky, with the Fernando going in full aggressive. Second map is going to be Ice Mines, if I'm correct. So we saw kind of a half of a pirate ship, I would call it, on Bright Marsh. Let's see if something like that happens again, because once again, this is Ice Mines. So tanky compositions, sustainability is king, is key. You can basically pop off a couple of picks based off that. But Vivian is going to be the first ban, and I guess the others, you still have at this point Androxus, Inara, and all the others that you can leave. And Torvald, yes, Torv has been huge in the meta right now, thanks to that pocket and bubble shield. So yeah, he's gone too, for sure.
Yeah, Torvald kind of screams NA to me. We see him in other regions as well, but most of the North American teams really like this guy and the types of compositions you can build around him. Pickled Pepper, most notably. We just saw them and how good they are with these comps, so no surprise for me that he's taken away Rami. They're very strong here on Ice Mines. Khan does surprise me a little bit. I mean, his overpower has massive value on the mid fight. I mean, it's effectively a free kill as long as you're hitting it, since the kill box is right there off to the side of the mid, but there's still a lot left available. Grover as well is a very North American pick. They love the pick on a lot of these teams, and I like him here on Ice Mines. You want to stay grouped up around that point, around that side room there. Side room control is very important. Grover's able to sustain you through it all, and this is why I was surprised though, because I love Terminus here on Ice Mines, and I think Khan is fantastic for that insta-gib. But I think Terminus just through and through is maybe a little bit more consistent here. So not necessarily that I think Snappin gave up too much, but trading out a Khan for a Terminus, definitely interesting to say the least, though not straight out bad. I think you're maybe just trading one tough matchup in for another.
Yeah, I understand, because Khan is very well played amongst the NA teams. So it's more of a, okay, we know they're gonna play him. And also, this is Ice Mines. You're bound to have that last matchup, on free, and that easy, as you said, Istagib, that easy first kill that you can get inside of the team fight. That's huge. On to the other side, though, you just unlocked Terminus, Atlas. That's a lot of bodies you can just throw off inside, that composition, inside that team fight, and they're not gonna die soon enough. But then again, you have Inara and Ash, so you also have a very strong, a very sustainable composition with the Grover, and then Canessa and Tiberius. So those two are huge DPS dealers. You need some sort of a flanker, because each and every time we saw and we witnessed Ice Mines with Canessa, nobody was able to get her, and Victor is not able to sustain that 1v1. So you need some kind of flanker or somebody to just go into that backline and get that kill.
Yeah, and that's where I'm looking now for YPC to round out their draft. Who's going to be able to outbox the Canessa? Well, the Sky certainly will be able to do so. Smoke and Dagger, again, was the talent of choice in Game 1. Did near 100,000 damage, did near 90,000 healing. All going to be good things. Another opportunity to draft very similar to that as well. I mean, look, it's going to be a lot of healing that Snappin have to work through here. They've got a Canessa, they've got a Tiberius, they have Ash for good cauterized spread as well. So I do think there is the ability to fight back into it, but you got to hope your tankiness, and it's weird. It's sort of this weird balance where oftentimes you see these double healer comps and it feels like you're giving something up, but you're not necessarily giving up anything with a Sky. You're gaining damage, then also gaining healing on the back end of it. You're not losing a damage dealer. You still have two tanks. You still have a main healer. It's very tough to fight into. So I like YPC with these Sky drafts.
Let's jump into the game then, and let's see if this Sky actually will be able to go. And once again, yeah, she's gonna roll utility. Worked like a charm last time, but then again, remember, for all of you viewers, if you have a tank composition, as you said before, you're kind of trading that DPS on the long run, right? But with Sky, you're still able to have, that kind of a double healing composition, while also having damage, a lot of damage, and also you have a flanker that you can use against Canessa. So all around, right now, I'm very, I have a very strong feeling for YeezyPogChamp as a composition. But yeah, let's see what's gonna happen, because right now, First Blood is gonna be very telling.
I agree. It's going to be very important as far as Ice Mines and tilting the scales in your favor here. The Victor versus Canessa battle. going to be a lot of fun to watch. And Stigma strikes first as Matthew goes down.
Yeah, trying to get a couple of more snipes. Completely uncontested right now. That's a huge mistake coming from YeezyPogChamp, because once again, you don't have anybody to actually confront her 1v1. Atlas actually getting a kill onto that point, but as you can see, the control coming in and out for Snappin', and right now Inara has that, you know, right footing right there, trying to be a bit of a flanker. We saw times and times again that Inara is actually able on Ice Mines to go in deep, and with that wall block them, and even do a little bit of pressure against those mounts. But right now, she's not working super well. You know, she's not getting kills. Kinessa is basically doing everything.
Yeah, nobody's been able to really get back in onto Kinessa just yet. That's given Snappin' a massive advantage. Look at this. Yeah, this is what Sky's good for. Look at all those health bars immediately topped off here. Mwadak gets his barrage up and off of cooldown. A great call here, I think, from Snappin'. You lost a couple members. You need to back off. Woodknock with the miracle wall to save himself. But Matthew goes over. This is dire now. Snappin' are at 99%. YeezyPogChamp might just be able to take it.
Yeah, there's no way they can actually touch and, you know, contest this point, because now you have such a long way to get actually into the point itself. So it's gonna be a 1-0 for YeezyPogChamp right now. But yeah, they conducted a very well in established team fight until now. They lost a little bit of traction, and now let's see onto the defense side, because I see a lot of mistakes coming in from Yeezy's, especially, you know, starting from the Genos with that full time and space.
Yeah, looks like YPC thought that Snappin' were somewhere that they were not, and it was the flanker on the backside that ultimately put them down. So what are you doing for the next 2 minutes? Because this is the position I think we'll be seeing most of, unless YeezyPogChamp. Wow, I'm already down to 0. We're in game 2. And I've already said YPC 10 times, so that's unfortunate. We'll see if I can hold strong here for the rest of this set.
Such a good name, you know.
Right.
Easy to say, hard to master, hard to avoid.
Look,
also,
it's pure principle at this point that I refuse to say it anymore. I think it's hilarious, but at this point it's a bit. So I'm just gonna keep it up and not say it anymore.
It's fine.
This is tough though. That YPC now able to fight back in. I thought that Snappin' had a good setup there. But the sustain from Ratatouille and the damage from Mwadak, just too much, and now they're going to get the cart moving again.
But still, this is Ice Mine, so that really doesn't matter though, because there's a long way to push that payload, and they're basically all back. You know, they can just actually dispose themselves off into the corners, and yeah, as you can see, the defense already set up. Let's see what's gonna happen into the next team fight, maybe. But it's gonna be pretty much the same. Long, drawn-out fights, you know, with not a lot of killing. One single kill on Kinessa could change everything, but that's also the same thing goes for Sky. As soon as you lose that, you know, extra healing, you're able to just push it through and get the auto kills and get the payload to move. But actually, I see no contesting at all. They're gonna wait for the last throw and those boxes to actually, you know, have a little bit of a defense. Ooh, double kill coming in, and that's gonna be a triple right there. And I don't know. They completely lost me with that action.
Whoa! Penguin able to pull back one onto Mwadak. Luckily, I have no idea how Stigma died there. Admittedly, it's sort of an area as YPC will push that one in. That's an area right where you see the Grover there at the end. I mean, you want this Kinessa. I guess she has teleporter and she can kind of move around, but you know, you want her right at that window where you can move in and out of the immunity in your spawn. So when you lose Stigma immediately, that kind of sets the tone for the rest of the fight there, and it was just too staggered out. So I think interesting how the turn of events was there. And look at the itemization from YPC here. Double cauterize for Mwadak, Ratatouille, and Sin Cara. Everyone has some level of resilience here. And again, it's a composition where it makes some sense. I mean, even if you're just looking at Seismic Crash and Assert Dominance, you're going to brush those off quickly here and get right back into the team fight. I think thumbs up.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Dolson died a little bit right there.
Did I die out? Am I still here?
Yeah, you kind of had a stroke or something, but it's fine. It's okay. I mean, the analysis right there was on point. As you said before, You need that resilience to just get back into the fight, and right now everybody's popping everything. Situation seems to be in control to Yeezy's, also thanks to the fact that they basically are well positioned, but once again, Stigma taking those kills in and out, and nobody countering him. There's no contesting at all. And we're gonna see what's gonna happen till the last second. Anything can change.
Yeah, anything at any time. Stigma is going to teleport aggressively forward here. You don't often see that. A Kinessa moving herself sort of onto the other team's side and narrowly escaped alive. Oh, nearly one-shots the Genos on the other side as well. You got to go now if you're YPC. It's already 85% for Snapping.
Snapping right now, using that comeback mechanic. They're gonna get a double kill with Ratatouille, the Yeezys, but it's not gonna be enough. And Ara still on to that point. Terminus has the possibility of respawning. He's gonna do that. The wall is gonna, dodge a little bit of the damage. You have a certain dominance. You have so many options at your disposal to just deal with him. The damage is gonna come through. Oh, watch out! As I said before, Victor is not able to keep up with the Kinessa damage. And there you go, sniper after snipe after snipe. It's gonna be huge for her. The fight continues actually. It's not the last word yet for our YeezyPogChamp. They're coming back, and they're coming back strong. But Inara takes the first kill onto the Victor. The other side, still trading with the Sky, going in and out, all on and over. Sky all by herself, popping the heal as soon as possible. Terminal got back into the fight, ready to absorb. And watch out, it's going to be a contesting overtime at 99% for both teams. Oh, Terminus just gets shut down. Right now, we got full time space in case if they want to do a kill. The cleanup crew is here, and they're able to get the point.
Wow, that one's long and drawn out there from Snappin', but you start to see the downfall of a Terminus without Reanimate, an Atlas without his cooldowns, and then a Sky kind of left alone. The Sky with Smoke and Dagger really wants to be working with the rest of her team. Good point out there. Slug shot on this Ashe, so some extra damage right off the top here for Snappin' to try to brute force their way back into some of these fights. But right where you see Ratatouille right now is where he wants to be fighting, and once his frontline cover kind of died off, the Sky is still very squishy and easy to get onto when you don't have sort of the protect the president built around her.
Yeah.
So not surprising with the way that's gone. I think good target priority there from Snappin' to lock down the YPC front line, and from that point on really was done. But now you're starting to see Snappin' fall apart on the push, and already a minute and a half left. The defense might be looking good here for YPC.
Yeah, absolutely, and as we can see, the cracks are starting to show from the enemy team. Right now, Snapping having a little bit of a tough time, but remember, they're still trading kills left and right. Snapping actually taking a couple right now, so anything could change on a whim, honestly, because they have such aggressive compositions on the other side. You have Sky, getting onto that back, using their ultimate to just push the entire team away, or inside of a side under the wall. And instead from Snappin' side, you have Kinessa, which can pop, a single kill on Victor, on, Sky herself as soon as possible. Even on Genos, if she finds the right option. So anything really can happen. And right now, Snappin' from, having a trouble and big problems into pushing, they actually unlock the situation, and they're ready to go for the last straw.
And really here on Ice Mines, it comes down to picks. If you can find one pick and you get one onto Tenkara, but unable to do it cleanly, Whirlwind forced out, so now Snapping without a big fighting ultimate in that Whirlwind, and now things are starting to crumble just a little bit. You can see YPC starting to work forward. And if, either the Grover or any of the frontliners die off, I think we're headed towards a YPC defense.
They're basically abandoning the point after those two kills, and of course Ashe, Inara getting staggered, also thrown back thanks to Atlas. Yeah, that's going to be a huge defense right there, and it's going to be a 2-2, but still, we wouldn't have guessed it. Like, everything was still happening, everything was possible on both sides, and that's what's interesting. Right now, we cannot really make predictions because everything is happening so fast and at a super fast pace. And yeah, They're just fighting kills back and forth.
It's a very fast-paced Ice Mines. I agree with you there. Modak has been doing well so far on this Victor, good for about 30,000 more damage than anyone else in the game. So him and Stigma both trying to fill kind of that similar role. And Stigma just one kill behind ultimately in the kills department. But look back at those healing charts. Remember how important I said those were. I mean, it's 20,000 more healing for Ballenberry anyway. And then also you have 47,000 additional healing on the bottom side of it. So YPC in some of these longer fights, in Atlas, a Terminus, they're going to be sustained up just that little bit extra. And then the damage isn't awful from Ratatouille either. I mean, he's effectively another damage dealer in these fights as well. It's an interesting comp, and I like the time bomb used to try to force Snapping into an awkward spot.
Absolutely. Right now, they're trying to get back at them. I don't really like, but the true time and space actually finds the kill on Canessa. So DPS is completely shut off from a Snap side, and that's going to be huge for Yeezy. Remember, they still have a Terminus with a full-on, ultimate. He's going to spend it right here, which I completely not agree to, because, yeah, you were so far onto the back of the enemy team, you used that ultimate, but was not super useful, and right now they're paying the price, basically. Still, 42%, nobody seems to be getting onto that point. Penguin actually taking a kill, but getting shot off soon after. Actually, Yeezy, yeah, they're controlling the situation pretty easily.
Yeah, and likely death game here. Once you get this big of a win. No shoulder bash. I could have spoken way too soon. Reincarnated, though, you get the setback. Has overtime been reset?
Watch out.
Got to, but you got to get onto the point. You got to get yourself to that
They're
99.
They're in.
YPC has played this one slow, snapping right back.
Brother actually popping that ultimate to get that extra healing right now. Everybody's dying. Bonza actually gets a kill. Sky gets the other side onto Penguin. They have so many bodies onto that point. Ash actually is still alive. Terminus is going to be the next one to go. And Ratatouille doing crazy overtime damage behind the enemy back. I think this is not it yet. Snapping could have a little bit of a trouble right here, but still, they have an aura, they have walls, they have so many opportunities to actually cover themselves behind that wooden block. Sky actually popping those heals, and the absorption is going to come through, and Yeezy, they're going to win because he now did not touch the point at the very end. Yeah.
Very close. Look, the Sky composition wins another one. It notches another win here in this one, and the way they're playing it, just makes sense. You can either play Skies as kind of free-flowing rogue with debilitate and you're flanking and melting health bars in the meantime, or you can play it behind your tanks and you're going to sustain and also do decent damage as well. She did 66,000 damage. So, not as much as game one. Ratatouille a little bit slower in the damage department, keeping up with Reincarnated though, behind Penguin, right around that Woodknock area. So big damage numbers from Woodknock. I think Tiberius as well, a bit of a tough game here for Snappin'. I don't think they had quite found the value that they were hoping for there. Ultimately, Mwadak at 138,000 damage was left unchecked throughout the majority of that game. 12, 6, and 6. They didn't get on to him often. And Stigma, not bad at 9, 7, and 13. Consistency is the key here in this case, and I think the Sky compositions, while unconventional, if you're going to play them like that, where you're just kind of sticking to your front line and you're extra sustaining off the top, and then you have a Genos providing extra damage as well, it's just too much utility almost.
Yeah,
I think it's almost like a double mark comp. You're going to have a Corvus on your team, except she also can do more damage than a Corvus can build. I like the mindset. The Illuminates maybe need to come out a little bit sooner. You might need a little bit more splash damage to deal with the AoE healing, things like that. Maybe you just ban out this guy. I'm not sure, but YPC look very good right now.
At this point, you might as well do. At this point, you might as well bun Sky, which is super funny to me. But still, she seems to be the more, enforceful and competitive pick right here, because she basically gives so much utility out of nowhere. Third map is going to be Stonekeeper. Maybe they can change it around. Snappin' has the possibility to come back with the next ban and pick phase. But at this point, Sky, super huge. I think both teams played Ice Mines pretty well, to be honest. But the difference was in those long, drawn-out fights. You have so many bodies. You kind of keep forgetting your focus from time and time again, because you have so many bodies, so many health bars to deal with, so many priorities, and you basically split your focus on, okay, I need to kill Sky, but she's healing, but she's also doing damage. And there you go, Sky's getting banned. On the other hand, you also need to deal with Genos. Through time and space actually kills you. But then on the other side, you have so many bodies getting in your face, and then Terminus, responds a second time. So many things you need to keep track of, and you basically lose control. At this point, Sky is banned. that means that a lot of other well-competitive and sustained picks in the meta are going to be available.
Yeah.
And except from Vivian at this point, you still have Inara at this point. You can play her again. They're going to go with Corvus. That's okay. Genesis banned. So, yeah. But yeah, something can change from Snapping. You know, they don't want to deal with Sky no more, and that's fine for me.
I wonder if YPC feel extra pressure, to draft this Grover here. Even though it's early on in the draft, you know, you can pair double healers, but it's one of those things. You know, I said it in the first set we casted where you might take the Grover here, obviously because he's good. He's not going to get banned out. There are no more bans available. Doubt snap and go for Corvus Grover, though we have seen those types of compositions. But just to leave yourself open for a little bit of a counter pick potentially later on in the draft. And I like the way YPC are starting off here. Rom Fernando, great health pools. Victor, I think, fantastic for direct damage. I think a lot of this is going to start to hinge on this Androxus. You know, Androxus is one of those types of characters that he likes to free flow. He likes to do his own thing. And it comes down to the individual, the player himself. If he's hitting his shots and he's doing the damage, then you got a better chance at winning. And I don't think that's necessarily a wild statement. I just think that's what Androxus brings. Shaolin as well. He's the big pivot here that Sky is banned out. So that opens up the Shaolin for Snappin to lock in. He's going to be great at locking in the Rom, locking down the Victor as well. Fernando, you know, if you get crippled down, you can't dash quite as much. Lex even into it. You know, it's a lot of damage, I think, coming from YPC here in this game. I think Snappin might have the ability to deal with it, though. I think the Androxus, Shaolin, and then the Atlas and Inara, I mean, they have a great core composition, lots of CC in there to lock in YeezyPogChamp. I think this one's going to be close, but I'm feeling a little bit more comfortable, I think, with the Snappin draft.
We're going to see it inside game number 3. And this is the 4th time, actually, that we see Lex as a solo pick. Usually you see Lex with Torv or, you know, with a Babel Shield or maybe a Mark from Genos or Corvus and stuff like that. But right now he's completely alone all by himself. So damage is standard, sustain is standard. I don't think that pick from Ratatouille, even though Ratatouille is a great player, is going to come through quite as much as the others. But that's fine. It's going to come down in a battle of wits, and also if Sin Cara is going to be able to actually roam around into that backline with the Rom itself. And remember, there's a crippling arrow onto the other side, so I don't know if it's going to be able to, but that's the plan so far.
Yeah, surprise, surprise, 5 Rezils over there for YPC. It just makes sense. I mean, all the reasons listed and then some. You know, they're going to have a great lockdown on the Snapping side of things, so not surprised they've gone cauterize and a tier of resilience here at this point. I'm interested that Snapping, not in a bad way, are immediately moving over to this high ground side. I think that's an area where Atlas can have a great impact there as well. He can kind of open the door, throws up that wall, and it's going to be hard for YPC to fight into it. And there's so much damage that Snapping are going to be able to put through that wall that's going to slow down YPC on their engagement there, that I think Snappin are right to start fighting towards this high ground, at least immediately right off the bat into this game. It's do or die, and I think Snappin have at least given themselves a chance out of the pick ban phase and immediately on their horses at the start of this game. So hopes are high, I think, that this one might go on.
Definitely, you want to have that high ground, and since you have Androxus onto your side, and Corvus and all the others, and there you go, the first blood is going to come in easily for Snapping, and they're going to go aggressively onto this Lex too. Lex actually, falling down pretty easily right there. They're going to chase him down. That's another kill right there. And, yep, easy peasy for Snapping, because right now they got a bunch of kills, and they still got the Androxus rolling thanks to that Corvus. Fernando actually jumping onto the point for YeezyPogChamp, and even though Snapping, they got the first blood, they got the first pressure, they're not able to actually jump onto the point right now, and I wonder why.
Yeah, it just took him a little bit longer to get down there. Also, I can't believe you said easy peasy without saying Yeezy at the end of it, so hats off to you. I definitely would have let that one fly. You lose ball and berry, though, and this is where I think this Androxus can maybe outperform this Lex. A little extra mobility, I think, helped him out in that regard. Unfortunately, Ratatouille wins that engagement. Big brawl here.
Ooh, big brawl, and also big ultimates coming in from Victor. Inara all by herself behind that wall. Snappen trying to take control of the situation, but Rom is gonna just be, you know, he's just so beefy, so big, impossible to go around him. And yeah, the first point is gonna go down for YeezyPogChamp. They got the pressure, they got the control. And right now, Snappen, they are basically all cooped up into their high ground, trying to reflect and do as much damage as possible.
This Shaolin has just been caught in an awkward spot a few too many times, I think, for his own liking. The collapse from YeezyPogChamp. Wow, I've now -1 in that department. I thought I could get there. For YPC, the collapse was just too quick.
Yeah.
Onto Snappen, onto Penguin. And you know, he was fighting up on the high ground, which I think makes sense. It's probably where you want him, but there's kind of a flank from the Rom as well. He just sort of got collapsed in upon and really mitigated, I think, what Penguin was looking to do. You know, I think you need to see more out of Stigma on the next mid fight, where he flanks around and does sort of what the Rom was attempting to do there, because without it, you know, YPC are going to have free reign of that high ground if you're just kind of letting him flank through mid.
And as you said before, YPC right now actually getting that high ground and sustaining that damage. Ooh, double kill coming in. Everybody just be snapping these days, you know?
Yeah, you know, you got to expect it out of a Grover. He's on a 7 streak here, and you know, you think Victor's going to be the one from range doing most of the damage, but down the stretch here, I suppose the axes are really what's doing some serious work. I like the way they're stacking up here on the high ground, though. Ratatouille in behind Fernando. A good chance for him to have a good fight up there. Barrage gets dashed away from, and now Stigma finds himself on the low ground.
And he's gonna go against toe-to-toe versus this Andraxis. They're gonna try to trade even blows, but of course Andraxis is gonna go down. Shaolin trying to do as much damage as possible. It's gonna be hard. The game is hard for him. Ratatouille still standing strong and trying to do that damage, trying to touch the point, but it's gonna be a 2-0. Super clean for YeezyPogChamp right now. Seems to be the better team.
Yeah, and they're just looking that way through a couple of games here. Snappen has shown that when they go down 0-2, though, they're definitely not out, especially on Ice Mines. You saw him turn it around just a little bit. Didn't find much of anything for it on the back end of that mid-fight, but this really does feel like do or die almost for Snappen here on this mid. You almost feel like they have to win this one. Already Mwadak on the Victor starting to run away with damage a little bit. Healing numbers, rather, in favor of Snappen, though there's just more health maybe to sustain in that department between an Inara and an Atlas, though it is close. I mean, Rom Fernando is definitely not that far off. But the resilience too is, I think, going to be paying off in dividends here for YPC. I mean, the lockdown that I was concerned about in picks and bans has been largely brushed aside, whether it's ultimate-wise or crippling arrow, whatever it may be. Stigma finally an opening and wins that flank battle. This is where the Androxus can make a difference.
That was a super bad slide from Lex, and right now Fernando actually forced to pop that ultimate just to keep the team alive. The damage is insane, and the staggering coming in from Atlas and the others. Look at all that damage snapping. They're trying to regroup and retake this point with all means necessary. And there you go, so many kills, so much aggression coming in from Atlas. Maybe a little bit too much, because he died pretty soon after. Victor's and the other trying to do as much damage as possible. Comeback mechanic going on the side of Snappen, but yeah, they took the point right now. And Yeezys, they're going to try to take it at least at the end of the day, because yeah, Snappen far, far away.
They have one more chance to zone out here. Snappen, no ultimates, and YPC, they have a few. This is looking good for the red side.
First one to go. Watch out for Victor. Right now, Nara and all the others. Ooh, that was a huge wall right there, but nobody was actually cut through onto the other side. Still stuns. Stigma coming in. He has a lot of free kill options right there. Just needs to take it and double kill right there. That's going to be huge. Ooh, gets shut down by Matthew. Double kill actually coming in from Matthew. Rom and the others trying to squash Inara out of that point. Overtime coming in. Shaolin doing extra damage right now. Extra spicy. And they actually got the point. Penguin and the others, they managed to actually get it. I don't know how. I don't know why. Wow. They were onto the point before. But yeah, good one for Snappen.
Well, you know what sucks if you're YPC is you feel like you're trading out evenly, and then you remember that you've only got a couple frontliners left trying to contest that point, and there's a Shaolin left alive on the enemy team. I think the fact Penguin was still there at the end of the day was the big differentiator. He just did way too much damage, and the kind of even fight really wasn't all that even. Stigma, I think, really turned around his mid fight as well. We finally saw what the Androxus can do as far as flanking goes. Got an early kill onto the sliding Lex, and then really made YPC pay throughout the rest of that mid. So much better, in my opinion, and exactly what I wanted to see. I wanted to see some more of that mobility get used out of that Androxus. Now, though, the real test starts. I mean, you're fighting into a Victor, and you have some range that can contest with the Shaolin, but maybe you're hoping Stigma can find your way back in there. But the defense for YPC is staunch, and it's going to be hard to break through.
Truth be told, the Victor right now is super huge. Like, it's really a source of annoyance, and there's a lot of damage coming from him. But the Lex, have you seen the Lex into this game? I don't think he was, super, precise into these fights. He was not super present, and I think Lex.
No, you're not wrong.
Kind of, it's a double kill again coming up from Victor. I don't know. It just feels off for some reason. And I guess just because he doesn't have any marks on him.
Yeah, I mean, Lex is I think hard for me personally to kind of lock down mentally. I mean, his dual ability, if he's fighting against his mark, is sometimes second to none. But how often have we seen Ratatouille alone with Stigma? What, like once maybe, and then Stigma won that engagement? I mean, it is tough. I mean, it's a tough world. I figured the Androxus would have a better matchup than the Lex does, and we're seeing a little bit of that here. Boneslayer gets an opening kill onto Lex, so suddenly the YPC defense doesn't look as great.
Absolutely, and the Rum is going to be the next one to go. There you go, Fernando, all by himself, trying to stay alive as much as possible, jumping left or right. The panic sets in, but of course, what can you do? You just can't, you try to do as much as possible. You try to defense, stagger them out, at least buy a couple seconds more so that your team can defend at that point. But right now, YeezyPogChamp having a little bit of trouble touching that point repeatedly. Nobody's actually going down. Fernando is right back on track. Round 2, they're ready to go. They're ready to dance. They're ready to roll. But the kills are coming from Stigma. Actually getting the first one. Grover going back. Watch out for Grover. Super low HP right there for the enemy healer. That's another one that is going to go in. There you go. Stigma actually into the backline. Rom super far away. Not being able to actually touch the payload. And that's going to be a huge risky 2-on-2.
And Snappin got it done without using any of their ultimates. I mean, they're effectively at all 5 here, with Penguin having the Heat Haze up shortly. YPC not far off. They don't have the Law, but they have their 4 ultimates as well. The big turnaround in this one for me is Stigma. He's still 4th on the damage charts, neck and neck with the Lex, but I think the mobility of the Androxus, if we had a way to identify the damage just in that last round of points, I think Stigma would be ahead of where Ratatouille is. So more of that, please, from Stigma. And I think Snappin or Mike gonna be feeling good about their chances on getting back into this game here. I don't know if they can opt for a similar flank. They are. They're gonna send Stigma on the Androxus around the right-hand side. He hasn't found anyone yet, but he's gotten a cursed arm to open up that high ground.
Yeah, everybody's in church right now, which is fine, but they need to come out, and play and get their point. Shaolin and all the others, actually, they found a little bit of an opening onto the right side. Fernando all alone by himself. Watch out versus that Inara, who still has the ultimate, the accursed arm, popping off into the distance, but still, no kills were found. Fernando actually had to force his ultimate right there and then, but they can still recover. Right now, Penguin taking another kill. Inara walling himself off just to recover. Lex trying to do as much damage as possible. It's just firing into the crowd, trying to get something out of this, and he finally gets it. He finally has, that persuasion, that damage coming in, and that's going to be huge for YeezyPogChamp right there.
Still a seismic crash and a Law, one for either side. So YPC in a good spot, but you gotta fight through a ROM that's holding down this angle. You gotta go right down Main Street here for a chance to contest on the mid fight.
Inara right now completely not faced by the enemy Fernando. Like literally there's no damage right there. Huge stun, but there's not enough, follow up. Actually, there's no follower. Scratch that. Everybody just trying to pile on onto the enemy team. Reincarnated. Nice deja vu right there. Nice snipe also. But that won't come off as a kill. And yeah, Inara and all the others, they're gonna fall down easily, prey to the enemy damage. And that's a double kill. You know, I've said so many things that trash talk hard this last, but he's coming back, and he's coming back strong with a quarter kill.
Look, I'm not innocent from that either. I said that Stigma's just been outplaying Ratatouille on comparable roles over the last couple of points, and I guess Ratatouille hears us and flips the script on that. I mean, a quadra kill you can't ignore. He's on a 10 streak, so even before that, he had impacted at least 6 kills in that mid-fight. And the situation was just perfect for him. He started to get into a position, I think he positioned himself so well, Ratatouille did, to where nobody was really looking at him, and Lex just pours out damage. You know, I don't think that he's a bad character by any means, but the mobility is less, in my opinion, than an Androxus, just because he slides and Androxus can fly around, and Stigma made great use of that on the previous mid-fight. Ratatouille there, I think, draws the right cards. Snappin are very grouped up in there on the high ground. Ratatouille kind of slides in down beneath and then just massacres damage out. So that's a good turnaround for YeezyPogChamp, and really Snappin heavy on the defense now to try to keep themselves alive in the set.
Capitalize on that quadra because the card didn't move at all. Like they are onto the last straw ending the enemy base, but they lost a lot of time to actually get this card rolling. And right now the defense seems to be super strong thanks to this penguin because yeah, the shots are coming in. Flying in, also thanks to Sigma, they're getting a bunch of kills. 40 seconds to go is not a lot of time to actually set up a clean push. But as you see, you know, Reincarnated going a little bit too strong, a little bit too aggressive onto the enemy team. And that's going to be, yeah, that's going to get punished pretty easily.
One last chance here for YPC to close out the set. Snappin will push us on to a 0.7 if they're able to defend here. Quick look at the ultimate. YPC got some good ones. Snappin just a couple away from being ready to go. Wooden knock first through the door. Watch out for a seismic crash, a cataclysm. YPC might want to end the game.
Yeah, positioning is here right now, and of course all those ultimates are gonna pop off into the distance. Actually, another kill for Victor right there. Coming in strong, Fernando actually trying to push as much as possible. Inara not dying a single time. She's just standing there between 3 enemies and she's not dying at all. She's standing strong and tall. Oh, she just died right now. Watch out for the Atlas actually giving up a swap right there. They're trying so hard to get into the enemy spawn and kill them, but they're still trying to go strong and still keeping alive themselves. Stigma right now taking another kill. Goes with the first one. Probably the second one on Grover. If he finds the offensive and if he finds the spot, trying to resist as much as possible, then trying to go back in Aura, back to the fight, back into the respawn. There you go. This is White is just extending over and over and over. Fernando actually popping his ultimate off just to keep the team alive, but it's gonna be enough. Penguin takes another kill, and there you go. Oh, he finds the spot. That's the second one. That's the third one. He basically saved the game. He basically saved the game. Watch out for him. Watch out for all the others. There's no way this round is gonna survive. And right now, Penguin basically saved the whole match by himself.
That's a tilter for YPC, especially if they're not able to win this next mid-fight. Hell, if Snap would go on to somehow win the set, Penguin really turns on the afterburners there towards the end, really catches up in that damage department. Look at Andro and Lex, both neck and neck in the DPS charts, so at least showing that they're somewhat close in that area. I mean, that is pure defender's advantage and nothing else. YPC were winning. They were winning like the individual trades, but you killed Woodknock, and then you had to turn your eyes to Reincarnated, and Atlas has that rotation of cooldowns that keeps him alive long enough for Woodknock to come back to life, so then Woodknock jumps down, then Woodknock dies, but at that point Reincarnated is back up. They killed both of the frontliners like twice each, YPC did. That's gotta be frustrating, but just didn't quite have the full-on ultimates to get it done.
Penguin's back must hurt a lot because he's carrying the entire team right now. He basically single-handedly saved the entire game, and right now we're ready for another couple of kills from him. He just woke up, you know, he had a little coffee, and he's ready to roll. There goes with the fourth, you know, quadra kill right there.
Yeah, why not? You get a triple kill into a slow quad, and I think that might just end the game here at this point. YPC are going to have to be fighting in to a team full of dismounters here from Snappin at 90%. Ratatouille's slide will not be in range. The dash from Matthew walled off, but does start overtime.
True, but the damage is insane, and right now they have the full-on advantage. Lex died pretty soon after, Clover also, and this game is gonna go down into Snappin. They have it in the bag after an amazing comeback from Penguin.
Wow. That's what a slobber knocker of a game there. This one goes all 7 points. It probably shouldn't have, to be honest. I mean, we are talking the slimmest of margins there for YPC, where if you're able to somehow kill Woodknock and Reincarnated at the same time when they're just juggling themselves on and off of that payload there at the end, it's game over. I mean, YPC had pure numbers advantage, but unfortunately they all had to run back from base anytime they died. You know, a 2-for-1 trade, as long as Woodknock or Reincarnated is still alive, is something that Snappin will gladly take every single time. A bloodbath of a game. I'm trying to find anyone that has a somewhat attractive KDA. Mwadak at 16-9 is about it. Stigma put up 16 kills but died 12 times. Penguin right along that same vein. Penguin was 10-10, I think, going into that final fight, and then ended 15-13. So a big turnaround from Penguin, especially on that defensive stand. That's a fun one between these two teams, but I got to think that YPC feel like one maybe got away from them there. You know, I'm not sure what you really changed, though. I mean, that's just straight up defender's advantage. There's a lot of health to burn through. There's a lot of cooldowns to burn through between an Inara and an Atlas. Really unfortunate, but still a chance to win the set in this next game.
Yeah, that could have been a 3-0 game right off of the, right off the bat. But yeah, super strong defense right there. Was incredible. Penguin really threw the entire team onto himself. Carried them from his back, ready to go. For another game. They still have. Yeah, they still have a possibility, but we're going to be here with more game and lots of more action just in a couple of seconds. Don't go anywhere.
There is a meaning buried within the sound. We brought the sound that shook the ground. There is a meaning. We brought the sound.
Benvenuti once again to the PPC. My name is Merlo. With me, Dawson. And as you can see from my nickname, I'm Italian Merlo because I come from Italy, So right now it's almost midnight, and my neighbors were not happy about Penguin's comeback for sure. Because I was screaming out of my lungs, and police is going to be here any second now.
See, I got to do this all alone here in a second. Unfortunate. Listen, it's worthwhile, man. You brought that moment to life, and Penguin brought the rest of his team back to life there, especially on the verge of going out of that set. I mean, that's a set winner if YPC are able to roll that one through. Continue that momentum. That's always the key in moments like this. You get a big play, you win the next mid fight pretty handily. You got to be feeling good. At this point, in a weird way, though, you're still backs against the wall. I still think it's YPC that are suddenly feeling a little bit more rattled. Snapping, they're playing with house money at this point to say, all right, maybe we can do this. We can turn this around one game at a time. YPC is probably wondering, guys, what happened? We could have won the game right then and there. So I think Snapping might come into this one feeling a little bit better.
And we're ready to jump into the picks and bans for this fourth game right here on Splitstone Quarry, apparently. And I think the Sky pick really threw Snapping off, for a long time. And it wouldn't surprise me if they ban her again, as a second ban here and then, because at the end of the day, it was just that much sustain over and over and over. And even though I must commend Snapping for being super strong in those mid fights, Yeezy's, that Lex was not on point for most of the time. He got those kills inside church. We saw that, we all acknowledged the full-on spectrum, but they actually banned Lex. They're more scared of Lex inside those fights instead of Sky. That's interesting. Right? But okay.
Yeah. I mean, Sky. I don't think it's as good maybe on Splitstone as it is on other maps. I don't necessarily think it falls off horribly. I mean, if it's what YPC wants to play, and they've got kind of the cornerstone of it, which is also having that Genos. I mean, look, what they do is they stick the Sky with one of the tanks and then just sustain the two of them up consistently while she's also doing damage safely behind one of their tanks. So, I mean, it still works here on Splitstone. You can play over by bleachers, dance in and out from behind those pillars. So, I think the opportunity absolutely still there for YPC. Instead, Grover getting locked in here, who can do, decent damage. Genos can as well. And Droxus and Rom, though, I kind of want to focus on that before I really see what YPC round out their draft with, because I think that'll change some of my mindset there. Willow and Andro, I almost don't need to see any more, I don't think. I think those two alone are enough to make me give Snapping the win. I think Willow's too hard to lock down. I think Androxus, very, very good. A Fury Inflame basically wins you the team fight. I take it back. I don't know if I need to see these final two picks.
It's fine because they're actually picking up Victor and Strix, and that's exactly what I wanted to say. At this point, you have Willow, you have Androxus, very agile picks. They're up in the air, but also super squishy, and they feel, those hit scans. They really, really struggle against, hit scan meta Strix and Victor all by themselves, and also the added benefits from Strix to be able to kind of be schmoving, inside his, inside that house and that high ground, and just hide himself and then go and pop back, with another kill, with another, burst of damage. Eevee is going to be the last one from Snapping, so they basically are pushing everything. Every chip on the table is going for kills. And Fury also, as a support, is a very aggressive pick right there. Right. I like the Willow because she basically counters out Grover in a nutshell. You pop your ultimate, Willow goes with the dead zone. You do nothing inside that fight. We're ready to jump into the game, and I wonder, what do you think about these two compositions? Who do you think has the better strat right here?
Yeah, look, I'm always going to side with the aggressive team. I still love the Willow, Andro, Eevee. It does concern me a little bit, and I think you brought it up. I mean, Victor, Strix are going to have a much better time firing down on a Willow than some other picks will. I mean, it is two totally separate mindsets, really, in the pick ban here. Snapping wants to run at you, and they want to do it early. They want to do it often, and they want to do it every single time. That's a two teams meet in the middle. Whereas YPC, they want to sit back, they want to pour out damage, they want to sustain over time. It is two completely separate mindsets. My heart will always go to the team wanting to play more aggressive. And Eevee is going to be very hard to lock down, while there's also a Willow floating around, while there's also an Androxus dashing away. As you know, individually fun, a Strix into a Willow might feel, or a Victor into a Willow might feel. Like those on an individual level might feel good, but you're also worried about an Eevee at the same time. You're also worried about an Androxus at the same time. I mean, the mind puzzles are going to be massive here. The dead zone is going to pay off, I think. I'm liking the snap and draft, and I like what Reincarnated has gone for here. He's got Haven early on to just buy him an extra little bit of time. You know, won't necessarily save your life against a Strix or a Victor, but it will buy you, you know, one more shot, one more chance to do some damage, and I think that's going to be big.
Absolutely. Let's see what's going to happen right now for this fourth game. Snappin trying to retake, you know, as soon as possible the entirety of the game, and Matthew having a lot of trouble behind that wall. Actually, Stigma trying to poke him out as soon as he comes back from that quarry. Onto the other side, still no first blood coming in. But yeah, remember, we got Rom, you know, even though he's countered heavily by Grover and those deep roots, he's still able to do massive amounts of damage, you know, it's still super annoying to deal with. And Eevee and Druxus, all the other, they are basically controlling the entirety of this, you know, map right now. They're sitting onto the roof and they're able to just squash them out. They're all tied together. So the first one is going to be Ratatouille, probably. Yeah, they're going to chase him down, but there's no first blood coming in yet. But it's still very, very low. There you go. First blood coming in.
Everyone's wrapping around one another here, but it's that one pick that Snappin need. Don't be surprised if they start to kind of hit that go button here. They are close to an Inflame as well, and I think the Inflame will be up in time for the end of this mid-fight, so don't be surprised if once Snappin fully regroup here, they just slam all of those ultimates all at once. But look at the shots from Wadak. Once the tables start to turn, YPC sense an advantage. That's always the threat here. Once there's not enough misdirection happening by Snappin, a Victor can dig in his heels. He's gonna make you pay.
Yeah, if your head doesn't turn, you're squishy as hell. That's very telling. Yeah, it's a super aggressive yet squishy composition. As you see, Penguin just touching the point, you know, but he's gonna die soon after. So you need to be super aware of your situation. Position, I think, at this point is key, and you also need to prioritize one single target. It's gonna be Strix, it's gonna be Janos, I don't know, but they need to figure that out.
Snappin just never got their feet back underneath them. Wadak with big kills right on the retake attempt there, and Snappin were just never able to fully regroup. I was expecting Snappin to kind of step back as a team there, say, okay, let's as 5 work in. We have an Inflame, we have a Fate Light, hell, we have an Ice Storm. We're gonna win this mid-fight if we can stay as 5. But the moment Wadak picked up 2 kills, this composition is just so much harder to make work, especially when one of them is on the ROM. At that point, you're hoping all your squishies can fight in. Now they're going to use the Inflame, though. I think it makes some sense to get YeezyPogChamp back on the back foot.
Huge damage coming in fact, and as you can see right now, Victor probably is going to die soon after. That's okay. But yeah, super hot damage coming in from Ratatouille. Look at those shots. He's hitting them consistently. Right now, he's going to die, but yeah, he's such a good damage dealer right here.
Yeah, fantastic. And this is an awkward spot, definitely, for YPC and their damage dealers. You know, I imagine the mid-fights are going to be where they feel the most comfortable, because right here, you're kind of fighting around a corner. And, you know, outside of this, right, I mean, if Ratatouille can find the pick when he times it perfectly on the other side of the ice block. Again, this is where the threat is. If Snappin end up falling down in moments like this, and they can never regroup as 5, that's when YPC is going to start winning these fights. But up until then, it's difficult for YPC to fight into the Snappin draft.
It's just fishing for kills, you know, and it do be like that sometimes. You just need to set out and snipe as much as you can. But Stigma, actually, once again, trying to kind of change the situation, flip the script a little bit. He still has a Cursed Army, still has an ultimate available. He does not need that. He's just going in for kills. Taking a bunch of them thanks to Eevee and, of course, Willa onto his side. 20 seconds, yes. Very little time available left for them to do a well-out, you know, and well-thought-out push. So I think they're just gonna give up at this point.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to fight in. I mean, with 30 seconds left, I think you give it one more go if you're YPC, but you don't necessarily throw any ultimates out at it unless you get a lot closer to the snapping base. Matthew does make his way in, but he's in around the back side here.
Ooh, nice kill.
Ratatouille hits a shot, so there's still some life in this YPC push.
Yeah, that's a good unlock there, right there. They have the opportunity, but they need to find the ROM. And right now, Willow is going to be the next one to go. ROM, it's the second kill. They're pretty much pushing and getting all of those useful kills that they needed to actually get inside the enemy base. Last try is going to come in. So yeah, let's just wait and see at this point if they are able to, and if they manage to actually get a couple kills more. Could be the 2-0, the clean 2-0 that we're all waiting for.
It definitely could be for YPC. Now they've started to reach that area where if you get a pick or start to find some other kills, that's maybe when you choose to use some ults. But look, Matthew's all out on his own here. You've lost Ratatouille. It's a fantastic flurry of kills for Snappin'. So yeah, that'll spell the end rather to this push. And I like the trigger discipline, I suppose, from both teams on those ultimates. At the end of the day, YPC is just going to throw a chance out there, see how close they can get that cart. But the second you lost Ratatouille, really no chance. So I think makes some sense that you kind of hold off on using anything more. I think the largest disappointment here for Snappin' is that Stigma is as far down on the damage charts as he is, about 4,000 damage behind what Anara is doing over there for YPC, and obviously Ratatouille and Wadak are going to be towards the top. So you need all three prongs to be working for this triple DPS comp, I think, to feel comfortable. And so a good chance, I think, for Stigma to kind of turn this game around and really try to get YPC off onto the back foot.
Same situation as before. They need to find that, somewhere they can hide, because you got so much verticality coming in from Snappin'. They, have the full-on control of the entirety of the map, but there's no way you can hide if not near the fidget spinners. And Eevee and the others are gonna do a bunch of damage, but yeah, that's the problem with Eevee. So much mobility, but as soon as you get into your ice block, yes, you're gonna be fine for the first couple of seconds, but then they can snipe you out pretty easily, and that's what's happening right now.
Yeah, Snappin', though, much better, and exactly what I wanted to see in the last mid-fight. Snappin' are able to back off after losing an early death, and here come all the ultimates.
Like an eagle soaring through the sky right now. Willow trying to get that blaster kill. She's not able to, but the dead zone, the sad zone coming in. A bunch of kill. Yeah, for Snappin', they got the, ball rolling. Actually getting a bunch of kill right now, getting the Genos, and they can probably capitalize right now onto that Grover. There you go. No way to go right now for the enemy team. YeezyPogChamp having a tough time retaking this point.
Yeah, they have, the mobility. There is a barrage as well to soften up some of that front line, but that's it right there. That's the Snappin' team fight, and you're never going to be able to beat that if you're YPC unless you get a pick early on beforehand. The Snappin' team fight is just too strong. Beautiful stun. Oh, the barrage countered out. That sucks for YPC, and it might spell the end. The wood knock does fall, so no more tank for Snappin'.
That's a huge value target, but then, it just took the kill though. Anyway, Ratatouille will be able to clean it up, but yeah, that was huge. That was beautiful from Snappin'. They're just not able to control the entirety of the point for so much time, They're so squishy. That's the only problem. They're so squishy. They cannot hold for a majority of the time that point. They just need a tank to stay on there. But Rom, if you're getting into those fights, how can you stand on that point? Right now, they're trying to do a little bit of a comeback right here. We see they're controlling with the Androxus, the verticality. Oh, Inara's going to fall down, but they're trading 2 for 1. Watch out for the amount of damage that is coming in from Victor. There's nobody onto the point. And Grover and the others, they're going to take it pretty easily.
I can't tell what's happening on the flanks here, where Mwadak is on the low ground, and he's free and clear to just keep firing away. I think Snappin' are trying to get onto him, but whether it's some of the axes from the Grover that are finding some good value, whatever it is, it's definitely turning things around here. Stigma a bit of a flank, but immediately spotted by Ratatouille. And this composition just kind of lives and dies, I think, by Woodknock. And once you don't have that ROM to contest on the point, you don't really want a ROM, contesting point anyway. You want him running around disrupting over on the bleachers. So it's a bit of an awkward draft, and Snappin' are playing for the team fight, the one that we already saw work out. But you gotta win it. You gotta win it better somehow. You gotta
Yeah.
get more percentage on the point because the retake from YPC has just been too strong.
Oh, so much healing coming in thanks to Grover right now. Rom, though, is still into that backline. They are able to kill probably Grover and the others. Yeah, that's a bunch of kills in the bag. Just snapping. And yeah, 1 minute 27. The cards are still moving, though. They're still moving, so they need to find some way to counter him. But at this point, at least they got a little bit of space. They just need to pop those mounts off as soon as possible.
Yeah, you know, at that point, it's Matthew just saying, all right, the rest of my team is dead. Let's see how close I can get this card. Because really, this long stretch is the difficult part on the Splitstone Quarry push. Once you can kind of get back around that final corner, things become at least a little bit more clear. So I don't mind you trying to make up a little bit more ground. You still have a minute left, plenty of time to regroup as a squad. And now, you know, snapping. They have the ability to control these corners, but you can't lose your ROM at the beginning of these fights, and fortunately, it looks like they might.
Matthew right now, soon after the ultimate trading in that kill, yeah, it's not gonna be enough because Snapping, they're coming back strong. Victor right now, feeling the burn, feeling the heat from Eevee and Willow. In combination, in combo, the only one who seems to have a little bit of a struggle right now is Eevee, to be honest, you know, in the foresight of kills. But Andrax is doing an amazing job into, you know, popping ultimates, popping those mounts, getting those kills, and creating so much pressure just outside the building.
Yeah, and with 8 seconds left, no chance here. Both teams are just going to prevent one another from farming up any of that ultimate charge. We might be barreling towards a Splitstone Quarry where YPC is just doing better on these mid fights and Snap and just have too good of a composition defensively to fight into. Struggles continue for Stigma here. I mean, I don't want to talk too far down on the guy, but at 3 and 10, you're bottom third of the damage charts, all things considered. You're beneath the Inara by 2,000 damage. You know, it's kind of the final piece that's missing here, because while Penguin can soar in and eat some of the CC, or Reincarnated does as well, yeah, Stigma's there. You got to provide a lot of direct damage. I mean, look at what YPC are able to itemize as far as defensive goes. They got 4 tiers of blast shield, so it should be Stigma.
Yeah,
doing a lot of the damage here. He just hasn't been able to do so. You know, the YPC are able to mitigate a lot of Penguin's damage, a lot of Reincarnated's damage with those blast shields. So I think Stigma needs to go big here, and maybe a high ground dive is one way to get it started.
I thought he was doing a little bit better than this, but yeah, that's a disaster right there. I'm sorry, Eevee. You were doing far well than the others, but yeah, he needs to find the right footing, the right occasion to actually get into that backline and maybe shut down the Victor. I think they just found the Victor right now, completely alone by himself. Eevee and the Druxus, there you go, just squashing him out. 2 versus 1. Of course, down coming in, but he was basically on ground level, getting shot down from, you know, his basic maneuver. And Penguin and the others, they're trying their best to do as much damage as possible. This seems to be another point for YeezyPogChamp.
It sure is looking that way, but the ultimate advantage still was snapping. Big one, Faith Flight, Cataclysm ready to go. You're gonna have an Inflame if you can delay this fight just a little bit longer. Here comes snapping.
There you go, ready to fly, ready to soar for the sky. And yeah, the damage is not coming though, and there's no supporting onto the ROM side. Furia, you know, she's aggressive, but she does not provide that much healing, that's for sure. And ROM is feeling that. The objective though is captured from YeezyPogChamp's side. Yep, yet again, once again, another full-on push. And the fact is that, Dawson, we're going to be honest, like, they are defending well, you know, snapping. They put the pressure into defense. They're able, actually, to get those kills and get the point sometimes. They're not able to stabilize it, though. They're not able to fight, you know, these long, drawn-out fights. So if it comes down to 3-on-3, I think YeezyPogChamp has the upper end at this point.
Yeah, it does definitely feel that way. Another good snap in defense here. Let's see how much damage Matthew and Wadot can do on the back end. Actually, a decent amount. Suddenly, it is just Woodknock on this ROM left in it. But the defenses have been too strong here for Snap, and the double healer comp, I think, just paying off better now for YeezyPogChamp, in that the Grover can just sit up top and pocket the Strix and the Victor the entire time, and the Genos can be down low, helping out the Inara. there's just
Ooh.
too much healing at the moment, and it's paying off for YPC. This is the furthest they've gotten in the fastest amount of time on one of these pushes. Things might be looking good for the set to end.
Absolutely, and right now Ratatouille also has the good positioning. He is going to be able to actually sneak in onto the right and maybe pop off a couple of kills. The Stigma, though, does not like that. He is going to get Buddha pretty easily right there. Ram and the others trying to defend as much as possible. That's a double kill coming in from Willow. Pretty hot streak right there. But, ooh, Matthew all alone by himself is going to die soon after. And that's a whole new push they need to do right now.
And this payload is real close. Luckily for Snappin', they're very close to a few of those ultimates. It really is, I think, on YeezyPogChamp to determine what type of fight we're going to have here towards the end. You know, if Snap and defend, they're not going to win the game. You're going to another mid-fight no matter what. But if you feel like you can end the game, you might throw some ultimates out, but you got to be careful, because if you don't, YPC's team fight, or Snappin's team fight rather, is just going to be looking that much better.
Huge through time and space. Does not connect
They have to
though,
ult.
thanks
They
to
have to.
Willow. Fast reflexes, but right now they need to spend everything on their control. Here comes the stun. There's no follow-up. There's no Willow. The damage is there thanks to Furia, but they need to find those kills and fast, because Rom is not going to be able to stand for so much longer onto that point. Oh no, they all cooped up into an angle, and Eevee, ooh, thanks to Willow also able to do a lot of blast damage. All cooped up into that angle. Yep, that's a death sentence for you.
Wow, and I'm actually surprised that that YPC are willing to throw out a couple of their ultimates down the stretch there. I mean, Snappin' was against the wall. They lost somebody early on that defense, and they had to ult. They had to use the Ice Storm, or else the game is over there. And in those sorts of moments, maybe if you're YPC, you just see how things play out, because now you're going into this next mid-fight far away from a seismic crash, far away from a through time and space. No offense to Strix, but you got a flashbang, who cares? You know, the barrage is going to be important here, a whirlwind with morale boost 2, that'll be up shortly as well. But morale boost 3 for Bones, and the big ultimates getting somewhat close there for Snappin'. I think, despite only having 2 of their 5 ultimates ready to go, Snappin' probably come out ahead there. I think Snappin', if they can just win one of these team fights and then zone out well enough, could send us on to a game 5.
Remember, Snappin', they lost all 3 points until now, you know, in attack. So let's see if they can flip the script and do something a little bit different, because they really deserve a second chance after their last game. But then again, Rom completely alone by himself, not having lots of support right there. But Stigma finds the first kill. That's going to be huge for them. That's a lot of pressure coming in. Willow right now, ooh, pressuring them into a corner once again. They're well beside the building. And 43% coming in fast.
And Snappin' have that second wave of ultimates starting to become available. No through time and space, no barrage. There is a whirlwind. Will be a seismic crash for YPC, but Snappin' a little bit closer to that inflame. The big team fight ultimate, the Ice Storm as well. Keep your eyes on the red team ultimates here as the big difference maker.
Absolutely, Matthew all by himself though. They need to focus down on at least one single kill. Antrax is popping the cursed arm.
Whoa,
of course,
whirlwind.
Grover used the ultimate. Watch out, that zone could be the make it or break it situation right now. Once again, a little bit more damage coming on to Eevee's side. Eevee, ooh, getting shot back after the wormhole. That's going to be huge for YeezyPogChamp. Strix and the others coming in hot. They need to retreat the Snappin' guys. But yeah, they still have another chance. There's still enough time to actually do a nice defense and maybe do a little bit of a comeback right there.
That's the red seismic crash, through time and space. That's a big combo that'll be ready to go as well. Another barrage soon to be, but here comes the inflame, and here comes Snappin'.
There you go. That zone right in the middle. A little bit of problem for Mario. He's popping his ultimate. Ooh, gets a kill on Stigma. Onto the other side. No, Penguin actually gets another kill. He still has his ultimate available. He's going through the back. Watch out. They're all blocked. Watch out. They're all blocked back into their spinner side. And that's the double kill.
Massive
And that's a
Penguin.
dead sentence right there for YeezyPogChamp. They lost everybody after their single ultimate. Oh, Inara not even able to touch the point. Snapping goes for the 2-on-2. Amazing display right here.
And on to game 5 we go. You know, I think finally, there right at the end, we saw what I figured the strength of this Snappin' draft was. I thought they were going to be better in the mid-fights and they were going to have trouble pushing. But anything but kind of the opposite there. You know, damage numbers they're in favor of YPC. You know, the Strix left unchecked for a good portion of that game. The Victor as well. The healing numbers, I think, a big boon to the YPC cause. You had Ball and Berry up on the high ground, sort of self-sustaining, not self-sustaining, but pocket sustaining out Mwadak and Ratatouille, which made it very difficult for Snappin to work in. Stigma, tough game. Don't want to solo you out. You won it. So regardless of anything I say, you know, thumbs up for me in that department. But you know, I think this one is one strong Androxus performance away from being a lot quicker in favor of Snappin. But you know, at the right moments, he came up big. He forced out a whirlwind very early on in that final. He popped in a cursed arm, and the whirlwind immediately came out. So that was interesting to me. You know, Stigma, love the guy, love the player. He's very strong. I think he bounces back here in Game 5. Not the best from him, but still a win nonetheless for the Snappin squad.
And once again, came down to composition. This Willa completely shut down the Grover so many times, and all those blasters, you know, just basically forcing you to go, you know, back once again, you know, back and forth, back and forth. Lots of angles where they just had so much AOE damage, you know, in one single corner. The next map is going to be Shattered Desert, a very large map. So at this point, I'm wondering who's going to win it because, you know, it's up all in the open. You know, it's up for everybody. Yeezys right now, they need to bring a very solid and competitive composition right there. They need to be strong. They need to be, you know, as fast as possible with those picks. Onto the other side, Snappin, they just need to continue what they did before. You know, they need to be strong. They need to do massive amount of damage. That seems to be the right way for them to actually, you know, clear those fights. And yeah, let's see. Terminus actually getting banned from Yeezy, Vivian from Snappin. Let's see if something changes a little bit.
I mean, at this point, you know, Snappin, they've turned this entire set around. You just have to win. I mean, that's you can't push us to a Game 5 after going down 0-2 and then lose. I mean, it's kind of against the rules. It would be shattered mental for me, not Shattered Desert here, if YPC is actually able to end up winning this one. Strix banned out. Kinessa is still available in that sniper department. This is actually a map where we've seen Sky a couple of times. The ability to rotate around to the backside definitely works, so it could be something that YPC want to look at, but Genos is banned out. That leaves the Torvald open. Situationally, the Hyper Beam can be good. You got to look out for the pocket, though. Who are they going to pair with this Torvald to make it work? There's some long sight lines here on this map. Snap and answer back with a Grover and a Lex. I think a little bit of a gamble with the Lex, though we have seen what it can do. And then a Grover's just going to be a strong pick, though. You know, Corvus still around. Wonder if that might have fit the map a little bit better. But I do like Grover. He's got some long range damage as well, and Corvus will end up getting taken down by YPC. So I think smart for YPC holding on to their last two picks to pair with the Torvald here, just to see the most of what Snappin have to give yourself the most information on what you want to pick.
First time we see today the Torv actually surviving the ban phase, I might say. So that's going to be huge because right now you have the composition and the combo of, you know, full-on marks. You got Bubba Shield, you got Corvus, you got Androxus and Sky. So they're basically doing the same thing again on a much bigger map. And Sky, you know, she's going to be able to jump in and out of fights. And there's so much ground to cover. You're not going to be able to find her out and snipe her out as easy as those times before again. So at this point, onto the other side, instead, we have Lex, we have Khan, Tyra. Pretty good composition right there, especially Tyra interests me because you have so much damage at your disposal and you have so many finishers, you know, between her and Lex and Khan. I just wonder if, you know, they're going to be able to inflict as much damage as possible. Super strange that they picked Grover. There was not a Willow onto the other side from Yeezys. I don't know why is that, but it's okay. Pretty strong composition on both sides.
Yeah, I wonder if they end up going Burn Monster with this Tyra here. I mean, the Sky healing in her smoke bomb has been massive for YPC. I imagine Torvald follows Sky around, bubbles her, and gives her big damage numbers. We'll see when we dive into game here at what talents they will be bringing on to the field for game number 5. We finally get here. Of course, it's going to be Thanks Grandpa. Of course, going to be Smoke and Dagger. As of right now, looks like Hunting Party. So I was wondering if maybe they go Burn Monster to try to counter out some of that Smoke and Dagger. You're still going to have the Firebomb even without Burn Monster. So I think even without that talent being locked in, still a strong pick in the Tyra for Snap-in to counter out some of what YPC have in the Sky composition.
Absolutely, and let's see what's gonna happen, because right now composition is strange. Also, I don't like Shadow Desert so much, to be honest, especially as a final map. No, man, it's just too large. The action is so spread thin, you know, between lanes. So it's very hard to see what's gonna happen. But once again, actually, Ratatouille trying to do a little bit of DPS right here onto the side lane. On the other side, they're basically all around the same giant building. And yeah, but still no kills, because you cannot propel yourself too much into the enemy backline, because you're gonna get picked off easily. But yeah, 9% coming in from Yeezys. They're actually touching the point, counting the others are not finding the right footing to actually get a kill. So right now, they're just gonna wait. It seems like a MOBA right now, you know? They're just trading auto attacks out of nowhere, but no real kill right there.
And this is how Snap-in have to fight. This is why I was not necessarily concerned, but curious at the Grover pick. I mean, to get maximum healing out of this pick, you have to be grouped up around him on such a large map. So Snap-in feeling like they all have to stick together. Not all that much cleave damage outside of maybe an Accursed Arm, a Time Bomb, which is actually quickly coming up here. But finally, some ultimates, and Snap-in want to go.
Indeed, first blood coming in from Snap-in, and they're ready to roll. They're ready to go. But yeah, they just need to find one target at low HP. There's nobody. Everybody's super healed right there. Maybe there's Rom. Yeah, he's gonna get picked off by Lex. By YeezyPogChamp, they got a lot of time at their hands. They're like a lot of percentage onto that point, and they're not able to actually lose Ratatouille in this single fight. And Ratatouille is able to touch in and out, completely unscathed. Incredible.
Yeah, and it's some of the value that Sky brings you here. Snap-in playing catch-up. YPC able to separate a little bit more. I've been able to kind of touch onto the point, touch off, build up this slow 72% build. Snap-in right back to grouped up with one another. They've got to kind of snowball in and win a fight in order to get onto the point.
Ooh, Penguin onto the wrong target, because Rom is going to be able to actually just go away, you know? Just walks away from fights. And right now, Ratatouille taking another kill. Lex and the others trying to resist as much as possible. But yeah, he's completely dead, so he needs to respawn and get back into the action. But on the other side, Androx is taking another kill. And another one with Sky. And another one probably onto the Styra. And they're all gone. They're all lost. And the payload is basically open up for pushing. And that's why I don't like Shadow Desert. With a pick such as Sky, you're able to touch, go away, and basically smoke each and every time without getting killed.
Yeah, that's how YeezyPogChamp put themselves in that position where they had they had majority of the point percentage before Snap-in was really able to do anything. You know, again, Snap-in, they had to stay grouped up together to get the maximized amount of healing from this Grover. Reincarnated takes a little tick damage there. But YPC able to touch on, build up some percentage, touch off, wait for the big fight to start. They get a pick onto one, suddenly we're going and we already have the lead. It's tough when you're forced to fight around this Grover.
Yeah.
Then YPC kind of have the ability to rotate around and fight wherever they want. And now, you're already seeing them on the back foot here, though it's more of a linear attack. Ratatouille is going to be running right at you, so you'd think this would be an area where Snap-in feel a little bit more comfortable. But remember, early on, Torvald bubbles, they're going to be big, and they're really boosting up the damage numbers for YPC.
Yeah, but Ratatouille completely having marks on them all the time. It's just doing, you know, that DPS is just going to add up time after the other. Right now, Stigma takes another kill, and they're going at it. Penguin is the next one to fall off. Ooh, huge amount of damage against Sin Cara. That's the light reset right there, but yeah, 50 seconds on Shadow Desert. You still got plenty of time to just get back onto the PL, and you're gonna be able to push pretty easily. You just need to find the right kill, and at this moment, I think the right kill is Lex at this point.
Yeah, it would feel that way. Lex, his mobility has done, I think, wonders here around the side. His ability to kind of bounce back and forth, right? I mean, as much as you have to fight around the Grover, your ability to be mobile and dash in and out of that healing range is always going to be important. So if you can get a picks onto the Lex, you see him rotating around the right-hand side here. He's going to be doing some decent damage from the backside. Nice setback, but Ratatouille stays alive. Grasping roots with some value there as well for Snappin'. Getting close here. It's going to be a tough formation to break. Maybe a time bomb for Ratatouille could make the difference.
Could open up many possibilities. He's gonna throw it, but yeah. Ooh, finds a kill also. That's unexpected. And everybody was just running towards the Androxus.
Wow,
That's gonna be huge for them. Yeah, I was expecting, you know, the situation to open up, but not a kill or two. Two is a huge advantage right there. And YeezyPogChamp, they're gonna go straight off with a 2-0.
Yeah, and I didn't expect that to be totally honest. I think Ratatouille getting the kill onto Stigma, and you called it perfectly. You shut down the Lex, and that kind of opened up the floodgates for the rest of what was going to roll through there. Ratatouille top damage in the game up to this point, 3,000 over the Tyra. Lex falling down the damage charts just a little bit, and you know the healing numbers this game are going to be misleading, because as a giant group, Bones is always going to have the top healing numbers over anyone from YPC and what they're able to keep up with. But, you know, 50,000 or so, 60, 70, 70, 76, 75,000 total for YPC if you put all three together, 80 or so thousand for Snappin'. So not surprising, but it does shoehorn you into this type of composition. You have to throw out a firebomb, you open up the gates, and YeezyPogChamp can kind of out-rotate you. Watch out for Hyper Beam, it might make a difference here as well. I mean, if you're going to stay grouped up, these big AoE ultimates are going to hurt extra.
Yeah, Lex actually takes the first kill, does not go with the second. Ooh, watch out for that slide. But as you said before, they have such a long sustained teamfight capabilities, they just can wait it out, you know, and they have extra healing, extra DPS, and yeah, they can basically turn around the fight by just surviving. But at this point, I think that Lex is doing a great job onto the snap inside, taking most of the kills during this particular matchup. Comeback mechanic is going to go in, so easy point for them. At this point, I would say Yeezy, they need to focus back and try to get their Lex. As soon as Lex died in the past push, they basically had everything unlocked. Defense is going to be a little bit easier, but yeah, they need to put a stop to this Lex. He's just out of control.
As if you would expect anything else between these two teams. Snap and answer back with a fast capture of their own. The snowbally, death volley type team comp works this time around. You get some early damage. The crippling axes have connected now down the stretch. Be careful now. I mean, this is the type of push where you want to be grouped up as a squad. This is the type of push where this Grover in this team comp that you have built around, nice shot from Woodknock, is going to work. You don't necessarily have to or want to be spread on some of these pushes. There are avenues to get in from a more spread out team. But if you're rolling in as a squad, you're going to be just fine with that, I think, if you're snapping, and they have some CC to set back onto YPC as well. So keep your eyes open. We could be looking at a tie game here in just a few seconds.
Exactly. Also, a single grenade on Rom, and he's just backing out. It's a lot of damage right there. And you need to be very aware of that Tyra. Another bomb coming in from Sky. Not super useful this time around, but, you know, easy enough to reset the entire composition. Lex is super dangerous with that ultimate at his disposal. You know, and at any given time, he can just pop it off and get a triple kill out of nowhere and just, you know, go away with a push. That's the first one. Ooh, he gets stopped right in the middle. As I predicted, they don't want to, you know, deal with that Lex anytime soon. Woodknock actually getting another kill right off the bat. They need to sustain this point as much as possible. Ooh, next one is going to be Khan in a very tight spot against Androxus, trading, you know, shots back and forth, back and forth. The situation seems to be a little bit easier right now for YeezyPogChamp, but Snappin', they still got Lex, they still got that ultimate, and, you know, Snappin', they can pretty much bounce back as soon as possible. Ooh, Rat is down.
Ratatouille's gone down. Snappin' maybe smelling a little blood in the water now. If they can roll this one in without spending a lot of ultimates, they'll be much better off. They use the Whirlwind. You kind of need to push it in now.
Oh, they're trying to space them out. They're using resources. And, of course, Torv's ult is going to buy you time, but it's not going to be enough right now. Rom still has the stun. There you go. They just need to find a kill. It's going to Rom circles around the enemy team. Matthew actually taking that kill onto the enemy Atlas. Ooh, that's the second one. They got no bodies left. There's no way they can contest and push this point. The Tyra still has a lot of damage, but of course, as soon as you lose your double tank composition, you're not going to be able to actually push. And that's going to be a free one for Yeezy, doing an amazing job in defending this point.
Yeah, and now it's up to Snappin to. You can't falter, right? I mean, you don't necessarily have to convert, but you have to win every single mid fight up to this point. The death ball, or from this point onward, rather. The death ball worked on the previous mid because you found some range damage and a good pick onto somebody from YeezyPogChamp that just put them on the back foot. And I like the Illuminate investment here from Snap, and you've got a great bit of cauterize, 3 cauterized 3s and then a cauterized 2. So why not throw some money into the Illuminate, a couple 3s, a 2, a 1. I like the mindset, but that's a lot of investment into, you know, a Skye where you kind of know where she is anyway. If there's a Torvald somewhere close by, there's a Skye over there somewhere. Obviously, it helped you with the direct damage and hitting your auto attacks, but
True.
It is a lot, and I think, you know, Snapping a chance to win another mid here.
And there you go, Snapping right now, having a little bit of problem against the Accursed Arm. Ooh, dying relentlessly, one after the other. They just need to reset and respawn right now. But yeah, as you said before, you can find the Skye, but what you're gonna find? You're gonna find her with a giant shield at her disposal, thanks to Torv, and you're not gonna be able to shut her down.
And now YeezyPogChamp are on the downhill swing to finally closing out this set despite dropping 2 games in the middle there. Oh my god, from range!
From downtown.
Back in.
Incredible right there. They still have a Grover ultimate they can spend to get this point. They need to do so because Snappin', they're not going down without a fight. Corvus and the others, they're trying to find a little bit of a kill, but Rom, too deep into the far end, into the far back. He's gonna get punished. 50%. There's one last team fight available for both teams, and they need to be super focused right now and use as much resources as possible. Skye still has the ultimate. Yeah, she's gonna gain a little bit of a tempo right there, but ooh, Reincarnated is gonna tank it out as nothing happened.
Stigma goes down. The Whirlwind might just seal it here for Snap, and we could be watching another push, and it does seem to be that way, as YPC cannot fight their way back in. And you know, I guess the death ball composition, when you don't have the time bomb, you don't have the ability to kind of bunker bust the fully grouped squad, I guess it just works. I mean, you can send this Lex off to the sides, left, right, center, get back in for some healing. He can self-sustain a little bit with his combat slide, so, you know, I suppose it can work. I wasn't a believer necessarily, but I might be now. A triple kill will prove to be good for Stigma. I'm just gonna quad. What is with the quads and the pentas in this game? I have no idea, man. But Stigma, he gets the most recent. And now Snappin' looking to tie the game with the push. And you know, the YeezyPogChamp outside of that time bomb and a hyper beam and a cataclysm, they're ult dependent, it kind of seems, on breaking through this death ball that Snappin' has.
Tyra getting shut down by Skye, and of course Androxus is gonna do this whip up kill. But yeah, super aggressive, YeezyPogChamp, they don't want to give this point up for any given reason, any given time. They want to go hard at it. Look at the ROM, completely uncontested. It's going to go with the ultimate. They're going to find a kill, maybe. No, nothing came in. But, of course, the Grover had to pop his ultimate. And that's going to be a huge advantage because right now, that's the most important resource at their disposal.
It sure is, and now Snappin' starting to build up a little bit of momentum. Everyone from YPC starting to crumble here. Snappin' have all ultimates ready to go except that Whirlwind. YPC catching up a little bit, no Cataclysm, so if this ends right now, Snappin' will have the immediate advantage going in to that next mid-fight. Luckily, YPC, I was gonna say, don't have to spend their ult. That's an early time bomb here. Ratatouille gets it quickly, so you know, not horrible investment there, but you don't find much for it.
Yeah, also you need to find a target to recharge right back on it, but yeah, how can you do that if the enemy team is basically, you know, avoiding and dodging and, you know, they're barraging through, but behind those pillars, At this point, everybody's playing super safe. Nobody wants to go, super deep into the enemy backline. And you need to do that, though. You need to be a little bit more risky than usual to get that Lex, because Lex right now is just wiping the floor with the entirety of the enemy team. And you need to find that kill on him, because he's the only, key pivotal character inside this composition.
And this one's getting close here, Merlo. Ratatouille.
I'm
Without that
sweating.
time bomb, now set back immediately into the fire bomb. I think good spreading of abilities there. YPC, they're getting nervous. You can tell they're throwing out some ultimates early on here, snapping in a fantastic position to maybe roll it in.
Watch out for the swipe, and there you go, the payload right now. Torvald is going to be there, but he's not a tank, basically. The payload is going to come in, and that's the problem. So many resources being spent for this insane defense, and you don't have the Corvus ultimate to space out the enemy team. What can you do right now? You got nothing. You just got a Cursed Arm, and the ultimate coming in from Torvald. Onto the other side, though, you have everything at your disposal.
Right, and that's what I was concerned about. If you're YPC and you're going to spend those ults, you gotta hope Snappin doesn't get that third point, because now you're going in fully stacked for Snappin in a composition that has suddenly started to work for them. 20-6 for Stigma. And Snappin have this resurgence. Stigma, a tough game on Splitstone. Corey hears me out a little bit, suddenly now starting to swing. YPC, they don't have the bunker bust ultimates ready to go. Hyper Beam can separate the squad. Cataclysm will come up shortly. No time bomb, though it will build up fast. Maybe an Accursed Arm does the trick, but Snappin fully torqued here going into this final fight. I think it's theirs to lose.
Yeah, and Khan right now has the ability to just grab somebody at random and get a free kill inside this last matchup. And there you go! It just didn't match you. It's gonna go down! You got no Babel Shield at your disposal, but in the meantime, everybody from Yeezy, actually, they got a couple of kills more, and they found the value inside this single fight. Ratatouille and all the others, they're basically extending the fight. They just need to press on and be super aggressive. Sky needs to go in and dive, and there you go, that's another kill. She throws the bomb, lots of tempo gained right there. And yeah, 60% to go. I think that's pretty much over from the Snappin side.
But not close by. Nobody mounted up. Watch out for the Exiles to give Snappin their chance back in. And Tropic Breach is used, but it's off of the point.
Gets shut down pretty easily. Nobody can touch the point and survive at this point. There's nothing you can do, even with Khan, and everybody's gonna fall down one after the other. And that's pretty much it. Even though they didn't have the resources to, spare, YeezyPogChamp able to actually do a couple of kill more instead of the enemy team, and they found the victory in this single swipe.
And yeah, now we are shattered mental. Shattered Desert. It could have been a great turnaround for Snappin.
True.
How are you gonna push us to a game 5 and then lose in game 5? Oh, I hate it. But
you can't come into my life, do a game 5 and then lose like that. You can't just do that. You're breaking my heart, Snappin.
Right, breaking my heart, Snappin. But they do look better down the stretch. So you got to feel good for the Snappin squad, and at least the turnaround they were able to put out here. But YPC. This has got to be one of those sets where it doesn't necessarily feel good. You go up 2-0 early, and then you still get pushed to a game 5. You win then in 7 points on game 5. You're saying, all right, guys, we won, but we need to do some serious retooling, I think, of our squad. And they kind of limp through the finish line there. Literally the only person on YPC who's positive is Mwadak at 12-10. You somehow turned things around onto a 28-13 Stigma. I mean, Stigma's feeling frustrated, but I think all of YPC probably is as well.
Dolson, I don't know, this game was pretty much set from Snap and Yeezy. They wasted so many resources, for this, that last defense. And I really thought that Snapper could pull through, but the problem, the one pivotal moment was when Reincarnated took that ultimate, he's basically threw Torvs to himself, but the team was not ready. Actually, they were dying all around him, and they just basically threw the entire team fight out of that single important fight. And that was pretty much game over for them.
Yeah, and that's how things started to roll down here. Let's see how the standings break out between Snappin and YPC here. So YPC move up, Sanguine do the same as well. It's always got to feel weird, I think, if you're snapping. You have a full set worth of plus minus better than YPC, but you're still in 4th place because they have that win in hand over you. And then here's the resurgence of Sanguine. Remember how this phase started off for them? They were down there towards the bottom, kind of reconfigured how they wanted their team to look, how they wanted their meta, their mindset to look, and now Sanguine's starting to resurge a little bit. Of course, Pickle Pepper standing on top. But that battle from 2 through 4 is going to be a lot of fun to watch over the last few weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody, is everybody's tournament right now. Of course, Pickle Peppers, they're on a team in a league of their own right now with a full-on 10-0, absolutely destroying everybody. But yeah, Dawson, I think time's up for us, for this magic duo. Yeah, it's completely over right now.
Yeah, you're ready
you got
for bed, though.
anything to say?
It's 1 in the morning.
1 a.m.
Getting close for you guys.
1 a.m.
Dog, I haven't been able to, the dog's got to get taken out. She's roaming around here somewhere. It was a fun day, though. Lots. I was going to say lots of competitive matches. Some competitive, some not so competitive. But that's the PPC. Some of these teams on the stretch down to Worlds starting to separate themselves a little bit.
Yeah, we're going to see each other with chat and all of our spectators tomorrow at 3 EST time. So remember to be here. We're not going anywhere. I'll be casting. Dawson and the others will be casting. No? Completely no? Okay.
I'll be over on the
Chris.
SPL. It's going to be you and Krez, Merlo.
Just me and Chris. Oh, that's unfortunate, but it's fine. Chris is a fun
sorry,
guy.
Chris.
I see how it is.
Yeah, what can I say? Thanks for following the PPC. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.